Well, let's get reactions to the federal government's Nigeria First policy, banning foreign goods that can be produced locally. I'm joined by Mr. Segun Sopitan, an economist and principal partner at Woodridge and Scott Consulting. Thank you very much for your time. Now, this is Nigeria's first economic policy, which will prioritize local industries. How practicable is this policy, considering how dependent Nigeria is on foreign products?
I think it's, well, how practicable it is a conversation that I think we also need to have. But I think in the first instance, we should commend the president for doing this. This is something that many of us who are public commentators, and who understand how economies will run, have been calling for, for a very long time. So it's very, very commendable that this has been done. However, I also need to say, before we even talk about the practicability, that in order for this not to be just another policy pronouncement, because what I have found in my personal research is that we have amazing policy statements, amazing policy documents, we've got amazing plans, development plans and all of that. They never ever get implemented or implemented properly. So one of the things that I think should happen with this is an immediate action from all federal government agencies, and which will then provide leadership to the states, subnational governments to do the same. And what action am I speaking about? I think that if the president wants to take the bull by the horn and show the world that he's serious, and Nigerians that is serious, all of the foreign sourced, foreign produced items, starting from vehicles, whatever it is that is produced in Nigeria that currently has been purchased in the last 2 years, I think they should be sold. Now, this sounds radical, but I think this would be a strong statement of intent. Imagine if all of the senators and all of the legislators sold all those 160 million naira SUVs and then go to buy either from Innocent or from Nord local equivalents, which are also bulletproof, which are also very strongly made, and all of that, very luxurious, and which probably will cost a fraction of the cost of those ones. Just imagine, the optics that would present. And let's not forget, that maybe perhaps the second-hand value of some of those vehicles that were purchased might even be more than the brand new price of some of the locally produced ones. So I think we might even find a savings opportunity, in this proposal or in this suggestion that I've made. It sounds radical, but I think it's something that the president should consider if he really wants people to know that he means business. Now, to the practicability of this, look, as commendable as this is, as necessary as it is, the truth of the matter is that it will have limited success, and that's simply because the infrastructure base that is required to drive local production is completely missing. Our infrastructure deficits are, significant. We're talking 80%, 70% deficits, 50%, 60% deficits across the different infrastructure sectors of the economy, especially electricity. So one of the things I think should go hand in hand with this policy is an emergency approach to the question of electricity supply, generation, transmission, and supply. Looking at things from an out-of-the-box perspective, how can we ramp up availability of electricity, say, to 20,000 megawatts, for example, in 2 years? It's very possible. Egypt ramped up 40,000 megawatts in 3 years, or is it 4 years? 40,000 megawatts in 4 years. So I don't see any reason why we can't at least get an additional 10,000, maybe 15,000 megawatts over the next 2 years. This will be absolutely critical.
Mr. Sopitan, let me come in here. You think that the policy will face implementation challenges and resistance from entrenched procurement interests, even though the government says it's determined to enforce compliance at all levels? And what should the compliance measures entail?
I think that all compliance really should not be a problem. If there's political will, compliance will happen, and it starts right from the top. So what I think the compliance measures should start with the president simply asking for a periodic report with regards to implementation, of this policy. So, for example, you could have your ministries, your MDAs, your MDA heads present weekly at every FEC meeting, present a procurement report from your ministry and show percentage local versus foreign sourced content, and make sure that becomes a culture. I think if we do that, then you will see that there will be adoption. But if you don't track and measure, then there is no way that compliance will be effective. So I think the president really needs to drive this for it to work.
I guess time will tell the practicability of this policy. Mr. Segun Sokwito, economist and partner at Woodridge and Scott Consulting, we appreciate your contribution as always. Thank you very much.